Someone is gonna pay dearly for convincing me to break my vow of never seeing another 3D live action movie ever again. This was my last 3D film. I'm not gonna see any others in live action. I'm gonna seek out the cheaper version. They will pay with their life. The 3D in this movie is f***ing pointless! Pointless! I paid $12.50 to set my 3D glasses down on the table and not use them, but maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the entire movie. Because the film was clear. Clear! Like 80% of the time, the movie is crystal clear, there's no 3D effect. The 3D comes into play for the Asgard parts, and that's pretty much it. Once again, my glasses were f***ing disgusting. I took video of the glasses, it was covered in gunk and fucking goo.
These are my 3D glasses. They're literally dripping with ooze. No, it's fucking dirty ooze.
I swear to God, Jabba the Hutt goes to the same freaking theater as me. This is the second time, Jabba. The second time. I refused to put them on. I literally set them down in front of me on the table. The lady next to me saw that I wasn't wearing 3D glasses, and guess what? She took hers off. And the people next to her took theirs off too. And then later on, the people in the row in front of us had taken theirs off. I felt like I had started a fucking rebellion. No more fucking pointless 3D movies! Awesome. And when are people gonna stand up and say, F all this mess, I'm not seeing this shit in 3D. Now we have to seek out theaters that show it specifically in 2D. There's only like one theater in Austin that had Thor in 2D, and it's like for bajillion miles away. And I'm fucking tired of it. I don't know how to stop it. I wish I knew how to tell you guys to stop this 3D mess. Don't see the films in 3D. But they so cleverly bundle them together and force you to watch them in 3D. They make it inconvenient and nearly impossible to find the 2D versions in your city. It is the most plain and simple apparent scam. And they're getting away with it to charge you double or triple the price of a single movie ticket. Fuck you, corporate.
Oh, you're welcome, Joe. You are definitely welcome. Oh, yeah.
End of 3D rant. Now, let's get to the movie. Thor 3D. You already know my feelings on how shitty the 3D effect was for this movie. Clearly it wasn't made for it, but let's get to the actual movie.
Thor, do you swear to guard the lives of the innocent?
I swear!
You're big, fought bigger.
Thor.
So Thor, my thoughts? So the director, Kenneth, basically doesn't f up a comic movie and everybody is praising him. But it wasn't anything special. I'm not really sure why it's getting a lot of praise. Now don't get me wrong, I'm happy that the mainstream critics aren't bashing and tearing this movie to pieces. It's good for the genre in general, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't really deserve all this praise. The director didn't mess with Thor, he didn't screw up his mythology, he didn't give him a bastard child, but the overall movie is average, it's serviceable, it's middle of the road really. Now maybe there's 2 things that ruined Thor for me. The godforsaken video game.
The Jotun have come for what is rightfully ours.
Wrong, Jotun, you've come here to die.
And then Conan O'Brien's Thor parody that he showed before the movie opened. I can't look at Thor the same way after that.
Well, I mentioned this last night. The movie looks like it has tons of action, special effects. I'm worried about something. I'm worried that they cast the wrong guy to play Thor. I am. I talked about this last night, and I want to talk about it again. Check out this trailer.
Please open your eyes.
Oh no, this is Earth, isn't it?
Where did it come from?
Your ancestors called it magic, and you call it science. Well, I come from a place where they're one and the same.
Do you swear to guard the lives of the innocent?
I swear. Let's get 'em! Whee! Stop it! Hurt mad! I'm Thor!
How can something so simple be so funny?
I'm Thor!
Anyway, here's the movie in a nutshell. Thor, he's too big for his britches, he's arrogant, he's got a massive ego, and he's an overall big douchebag at the beginning of the movie. So Odin banishes him to Earth so maybe he can learn a little bit of humility, and after eating eggs and toast with Natalie Portman, he's ready to rule in Odin's place. How dare you! How dare you! Oh, toast. Thank you, lady. To Asgard! That's it. And at some point, the bad guy sends down a mechanical guardian to attack a small little model town in the middle of nowhere because he got mad. And that's the climax. And it blows my mind because Thor is banished to Earth to learn humility, to grow as a person. But his transformation was way too rapid. He goes from a vapid, hammer-twirling douchebag to a chivalrous knight in shining armor in like no time flat. For why? Because Jane is attractive, I guess? Doesn't that still play into his vanity issue? I don't think Thor learned anything on Earth at all, except other than to be nice to pretty girls. Natalie Portman plays Jane, who is the Earth girl. She smacks into him several times with her car, which was funny, and she falls in love with him without knowing anything about the guy at all. This has to be the weakest romantic chemistry and connection between the two love interests in a movie where it's supposed to sort of hinge on that. He's supposed to grow from that. Their chemistry is not there. It's just, oh wow, you have muscles and you're ripped and you look nice. Oh, and you look nice too, and oh, you research astronomy and I come from other worlds out there. That's it. It's forced as hell. They don't do anything with each other to warrant that kind of level. There's like a single scene where they're at a campfire where, you know, he's explaining the 9 worlds to her and he's drawing, and that's like the only real moment they have together in the film. But other than that, that's it, and that's information that she probably should have already known or that you could look up on Wikipedia. The only thing more forced than Thor and Jane's relationship is the shirtless bit, taking his shirt off and being like super cut, filling the requirement for the female viewers. Though it must be nice to make an entire theater of females swoon. A few girls did, and the rest of us laughed. But one day I hope I will be able to do that. And the core of the story is, you know, the God of Thunder has a case of, you know, Tourette's and is a dick to his dad for like a day. Haven't we all been there? Okay, so maybe Jack Frost of the, you know, Frost Giants isn't exactly tooting the, you know, trumpets of war. But really, Odin? Really? Using brute force to steal a legendary wish-granting weapon in enemy territory isn't reason enough for a warranted beatdown? Then when Thor does the very same thing going over there, only this time wanting answers for what just happened, for essentially violating the ceasefire between the Frost Giants and Asgard, He's the one that's out of line. He's the one that is creating this war. That doesn't make any sense. Screw that. I would do that very same thing that Thor did if shit hit the fan in my realm. Besides, isn't his ego, bristling muscles, and, you know, mane proof that he is kingly material? It's not like that squirrely motherfucker Loki is, you know, exactly king material. I am going to betray you is literally stamped on the guy's forehead throughout the movie. Then that cosmic cube or that blue cradle or whatever it is, the movie, the thing that the movie gave like one line of explanation to that everybody wants at the beginning of the movie is suddenly and completely forgotten about in the second half of the film. You know, when the Frost Giants could clearly say, hey, what about that thing over there that we wanted to steal so badly? It's still over there. We could go get it right now. You don't care about it anymore? No? Nobody? Okay. I don't know what it was, and it was kind of a plot device that they just kind of dropped. But, you know, all is not lost. I mean, every time somebody coughed or farted, there was an explosion in the theater, and Asgard was cool looking, except in my particular 3D version, I couldn't see shit, but I knew it was cool looking from the freaking trailers. This made Asgard look cool, but
In a world where every actioner looks like 300, is it fair to continuously marvel at all the visuals instead of the content?
the answer I would give is sometimes, because I like that, but here, there really wasn't all that much action. And what there was relatively weak. The fight choreography was bad. It was one of those really close up, I can't see what the hell is happening. I think a lot of you are going to be surprised because, you know, a lot of people are really enjoying Thor. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a bad film. But I also don't think it's one of the better ones. I think that Iron Man was better. I think a lot of the Marvel movies were better than this one. I think Spider-Man 3 I enjoyed more than this one. No, never mind. It felt like there was more going on in Spider-Man 3 because we've got Thor and Denny's and just walking around Earth and, you know, not really doing anything. The problem is that the movie for me just plays out like an essay. Like, all the key points are there, but the details just, they need to be filled in. There's no touching moments in Thor. There's no romantic chemistry in Thor. What there is a really good amount of well-placed humor. I was really surprised by that. This is a very funny film. I found myself laughing and enjoying myself during those parts. But this whole idea of Thor being transformed into a man and learning humility and having this transformation through Jane and a female interest on Earth and learning more about himself and growing was completely passed over. It was forced and it did not work. There really is no oh moments to marvel at. See what I did there? Huh? Marvel at? Yeah? Good? Good? Still, it's 1,000 times better than the video game. It's not anything that I would recommend that you run out and see, but I'd rather spend the money that I spent on this film, $12.50, to watch the film in theaters 4 times without 3D, and then buy the DVD with all the extras, than ever play or buy the game. Stay away from that game. The final verdict for Thor 3D is 6 out of 10. That's the 3D version. It probably pissed me off more than it should have. I'm a little biased against 3D. I don't know how much that's affecting the score, but it just feels right. The film was all right. It was average, it was serviceable, and it had its funny moments. Anthony Hopkins as Odin was a really badass choice. And you have to give it to Chris, who makes an extremely good Thor. I thought he did a fantastic job. I went in skeptical of what he was going to do for Thor and how he's going to convey it, and was it going to be overly cheesy, but the writers toned down the mythology speak, or the, you know, the medieval type old English. They toned that down, and Chris did a fantastic job as Thor. Good casting there as well, and it did manage to keep me entertained throughout the entirety of the movie. It didn't piss me off, but it did just that, and only that. I still think that Captain America and Green Lantern are going to be better superhero flicks than Thor. They look like deeper films, they look like more epic films, and they look like the boss battles, or whoever their villains are going to be more epic. Or at least the story surrounding them are going to be more impactful and invoke more emotion from me than Thor did. The only emotion Thor really got for me, I never really felt like, wow, he is truly the god of thunder. I felt more like happy because the film was making me laugh. And which was a really, you know, odd feeling to walk out of Thor. You know, I didn't come out, wow, that guy's a badass and he's mysterious and he's a god of thunder and he's gonna be a heavy hitter on the team. I just thought that this guy was, you know, that film just made me walk out thinking, wow, it was an alright film, and I had fun watching it. Oh, and I would tell you that to wait till the end of the credits to Thor if you do plan on seeing it. But I'm not gonna tell you that because it's a complete waste of time. It's not worth it at all. It's stupid, it's confusing, and it's pointless. The only thing you're gonna be saying is, what? When you walk out. So that's my piece of advice. You don't need to stay till the end credits. It's worthless. I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show movie review.